All right, 23.3 is here, last week of the Open, and this is an awesome workout. So we really have two camps of people that you guys are gonna be talking about. Number one, you can do strict handstand push-ups, or you are at least close enough to have a real shot of getting one at that point. And then those of you guys who know, like, hey, I'm not even close to a handstand push-up, I just have to go as fast as possible in the first 2 rounds of this workout. So let's cover the 2 rounds first. If you do not have a handstand push-up and you know that it's not happening today, it's kind of a pass or fail exercise there, then I want you to really push the pace hard in those first 2, because obviously your score is how fast you can get done with those first 2 rounds. When we do the wall walks, if you guys watched when Mal and Danielle went, the thing that you probably noticed is that they do the double leg hop up, all right? Now for 99.9% of us, that is probably not the way to go. So unless you're extremely proficient at wall walks, I totally suggest stepping up and just keeping your heart rate down and being a little bit more controlled. But make sure that you peel up, right? We're trying to save the pressing as much as you can and your shoulder fatigue in general. So really peel up first, then push from your knees to reach up, both feet on the wall, and then start your wall walk. Big steps. So once I get here, you can take big steps on the way down and really save a lot of time under tension. You get no benefit for taking more steps there. Get the arms nice and locked out. If you focus on flexing your tricep hard, that'll help you to maintain a nice locked arm if you focus on flexing that. And the less bend you have, the easier that you're gonna be able to get through this. So really focus on that. Don't fuck around on the way back down, go down quickly. At the bottom, especially if these are relatively hard for you, at the bottom, I suggest doing a real quick 1 second shake out and let them completely deload and then go right back to it. You can keep that break really short and it still makes a big difference in the long haul. So don't be afraid of that short break at the bottom. Now, after your wall walks, we have the snatches at 95 pounds. Or sorry, the double unders. After the double unders are what they are, so go through those, get through your double unders. The game plan there just needs to be pretty much get through those. Once we get to the barbell at 95 and 65, I really do recommend breaking still. So even if that's light for most of us, I still recommend at least 1 break. I think that 3 5s could be your best bet there, just because you're only gonna save a few seconds, and that's a lot of different fatigue coming out at you. So really come back, when you come back to the second round, you have to moderate your wall walks so that way you don't hit failure or need big slowdowns going to your 135 and 95 on the snatches. Once you get there, you really just need to ask yourself how your fatigue level is. For most people, quick singles will be the faster version actually, but if you're on the stronger side, you can absolutely rip them. Then you just gotta grab that bar and go until it slows down and then break it into quick singles if it starts to get to that real fatigue point, okay? So now the second camp, for those of you guys that can do strict handstand push-ups, the workout changes drastically, all right? So for most of us, the strict handstand push-up is gonna get really, really challenging. So your job is to get through the first 2 rounds with as little fatigue as humanly possible. So if you're in that camp, more than likely these wall walks aren't that difficult for you, but there's no reason to absolutely blast those as fast as like Mal and Danielle did. They absolutely crushed through those, and obviously they're insanely fit. But for most of us, I still recommend having that quick shootout at the bottom. So once I come back down and I get to the floor, do a quick deload and bring it back. Just because they're inconsequential in the beginning, they're just set there to fatigue your shoulders for those handstand push-ups. So don't take the bait. Rest in between the reps for just like literally 1 or 2 seconds, and that'll save you in the long run. For the handstand push-up standard, this is by far my favorite handstand push-up standard the CrossFit's ever came up with, so kudos to you guys. All you have to do is take this tape line, the far edge, so this edge needs to be 10 inches away from the wall, and then you have 30 inches wide on your tape. Any part of your hand can touch any part of the tape, but both hands must be touching the tape, and then when you come down, your head must be on any part of that tape. So the big takeaway here is that you need to keep fingertips on the tape, because as we come down, your head will naturally go to a tripod position, or at least it should. So my head will be out around here. So we have to make sure to give yourself space. If your hands start like this, your head is likely to go too close to the wall, you'll fall off the wall and not touch the tape. So go fingertips. Personally, I feel best with just a thumb on here, and then it's a very normal handstand push-up. As I come down, it's just intuitive to go right into the tape line and then press back up the top. Make sure you guys finish with a lockout and control. So this is an example of a bad rep. Okay, I got good lockout in my arms, but I wasn't on the wall. Be really aware of that, especially as they're gonna be reviewing videos, I'm sure, to go into quarterfinals. And that's something that I know that they're gonna be looking for, is for you guys to have lockout with your feet in contact with the wall. But as far as the standard goes, this is just normal handstand push-ups, guys. So really cool standard. Especially if handstand push-ups are super hard for you, I suggest watching your clock and trying to finish your last set or your last snatch at the 135.95 with only a few seconds remaining on that 6-minute time period, just so you're as fresh as humanly possible to get into those strict handstand push-ups. Because you know you're gonna have a 3-minute window no matter what if you make it to those handstand push-ups. So you know you have 3 minutes. So during that time, you're way better off to get there with only 3 minutes and be fresh than to get there with 4 minutes and be cooked and then get actual less reps because you're failing. So don't take the bait of going fast in the first 2 rounds if handstand push-ups are hard for you. And now our final group, if you're really good at strict handstand push-ups and you can do 20 plus unbroken, now this workout obviously cranks up the intensity in the first 2 rounds. And then once you get to the strict handstand push-ups, we still have to moderate your output so you don't hit failure, but you can obviously be on the gas pedal a little bit harder. But in all of these circumstances, I do suggest doing no more than set to 5 on the power snatches at the 95 and 65 pound bar. And then I think singles for all of us, unless you're just a strong person that can't do strict handstand push-ups, you got to sprint that 135.95. But for everybody else, the quick singles is the way to go here. So make sure to manage that fatigue, know where you're at in the clock. That way you know how much you have to speed up or slow down to make that cut line. And I think you guys are going to do well in this.